Yeah.
15 extra.
Are you saying?
There we go.
Hey everyone! Welcome to Frigiphobia, Neon Goblin's playthrough of Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden. My name is Morgan. I will be your dungeon master for this evening, and I am joined by this beautiful crew of goblins for tonight. Playing the Goblin Sorcerer Bard Osborne is James.
Ahoy hoy.
Playing our Shatterkai Ranger Zadrin is Prescott.
Hello.
Playing our human paladin Wilhelm Thrice Slain.
Oh, no, only twice. Ah!
We'll
What are
see
you
about
planning? Hello, I'm nervous.
There's no reason I'm asking this for the first time in several sessions tonight. But this is Alden playing Wilhelm.
Hi.
Playing Rayston, our changeling fighter, is Kevin.
Hello.
Playing Vulcan, the Fire Genasi artificer, is Kristen.
Yo.
We are missing Kristen tonight, so I will be Jaegering Gran, the Silver Dragonborn Druid, once again. But returning to us this week is our guest player, Devin, who is playing the mysterious, illustrious human wizard, Melon Pearl. Welcome back, Devin.
Hello.
Fantastic. Well, before we get started tonight, we've got a bit of business to get through. First and foremost is to thank our ongoing sponsor for the show, Roll20. And for those of you who have not yet had a chance to check them out, Roll20 is a system-agnostic virtual tabletop that allows you to bring any tabletop gaming platform online for virtual gaming experiences. Plus, if you subscribe to their Pro tier, each month you get a free asset on the Roll20 marketplace. In addition to the free asset to Pro members, there is currently an additional free asset to all Roll20 memberships right now. Head on over to the Roll20 marketplace to check out Ald Sanguine, which is a Vampire the Masquerade module that is set for 4 to 6 low-level vampires. The entire story takes place within a few hours from dusk to midnight on December 31st, which means it is a perfect module to play to get in the spirit for the upcoming New Year's holiday. The module comes complete on the Roll20 virtual tabletop with the tabletop itself, chapters, tokens, NPCs, drag and drop support, 7 different player art handouts featuring renegades, immersive environments, and mysterious characters, and 6 fully realized pre-generated characters that makes the game ready to grab and go for anyone wanting to check out the Vampire the Masquerade system for the first time. So make sure you head on over to roll20.net, check out this module that they have for all of their members right now, check out all the different membership subscription tiers, and all the different assets that they have to offer. Thank you again, Roll20. With the fun business out of the way, I do want to return to our ongoing word of warning that Frigiphobia is based on Icewind Dale, which is a horror campaign. I especially want to emphasize that this session, as the party is approaching some moments in the story that will really test the characters in some distinctly dark ways. So, as we like to encourage all our viewers every time, if at any point during gameplay you find yourself uncomfortable with the happenings that are unfolding in the game, we strongly encourage you to take a break from the stream, let the events progress, and then rejoin at a time that is enjoyable for you. Players, again, y'all are reminded that if any point in the game you are uncomfortable with the way events are unfolding, you also have the autonomy to pause gameplay so we can readjust and make sure that everyone is enjoying the experience. So, heavy stuff out of the way. I am really thrilled to see who is going to give us a recap of last week's absolute chaotic clusterfuck of a session.
Can we vote?
Sure. Who are you voting for?
Griffin.
Oh.
I don't know. I see the glint of glee and mischief in Cavan's eye, and I feel like he really wants to do this recap in particular, which makes sense
cool with that
based
too.
on the events of last week.
I have notes. I have extensive notes.
Notes to help in that level of chaos. So why don't you catch Devin up on what the fuck y'all got up to last week?
I will be taking notes.
Last time, as you may remember, we defeated Owl the Frost Maiden. We had ascended to the top level of the Fortress of Grimskalle on the island of Solstice, in the Sea of Moving Ice, in the Frostwind Dale, and we have hopefully defeated the unending winter and saved the people of the Dale, yada yada yada. Jury's still a little bit out. Things appear to be getting better. It's caution at this point, but it's, prudent. We sort of hung around figuring out what to do after that, eventually decided to take a long rest and then get back on the beat and try to progress through the rest of the fortress. Partially because we have to find a black diamond for evil dragon named Arveaturis, which we still haven't done, so hopefully that's in store for us soon. There's some kind of big roaring thing that's stalking us, and there was a rock on the roof. So we looked at our options, saw that the rock appeared to have some treasure in its nest, along with a big silver egg that we're all very interested in, and we went after the rock. So we go after the rock. Ryston has this plan to pretend to be Owl and ambush it, which more or less works out. We get in a round of attacks on the rock. It is ambushed. We beat on it for a little bit, and then it grabs Ryston and tries to drop him 200 feet onto the stone steps in front of the fortress. So Velen, acting quickly, turns Ryston into a giant eagle using a polymorph spell, and we're all still shooting at him. Wilhelm's running around on top of the tower trying to figure out a thing to do. Everyone's blasting, shooting arrows. Osborne takes the opportunity on his first round of combat to turn into a T-Rex so that he can presumably stand on the roof and wait for it to come back.
Yeah. That's totally what I was going to do.
There was no tactics in his brain. He just wanted to be a big lizard again.
Yeah.
Ryston, meanwhile, still an eagle, but is clutched in the claws of the rock. The rock claws and bites him, turning him back to human form, because a giant eagle, it turns out, doesn't have that many hit points. And then Velen uses another spell slot to turn him back into a giant eagle, and this time he manages to get out of the rock's claws and fly back to Osborne. So for those of us keeping track, we've got a bunch of party members freaking out at the edge of a tower, a giant eagle perched on top of a T-Rex, both of whom are really a changeling and a goblin, polymorph, and the rock is, at this point, really feeling all of this ranged damage. So it sort of does this, last-ditch dive attack where it swoops up, grabs Velen this time, drops her off the tower without bothering to go around the steps nonsense, and ends its turn 30 feet down beneath the rim of the tower with Velen dropping out of its claws.
Worth mentioning, this is the point in time that broke Velen's concentration.
Exactly. Velen's concentration breaks. Ryston turns back into a changeling and is now riding Osborne the T-Rex, sitting on top of him. Osborne's turn happens to be next. He runs off the tower.
Wait.
On what?
I hasted him.
Yes, this is a hasted giant T-Rex.
This is a hasted giant T-Rex,
Yeah.
which allowed him to make the jump.
Yeah, that's important.
Very important.
So he makes the jump. He attempts to grapple the rock.
In midair.
Ryston is given a chance by the DM to roll off the back of the rock to safety, which he forgoes. And so now we've got 3 party members and a giant bird falling swiftly off the tower
140
down
feet.
toward, admittedly, snow, but still pretty far down. And so Osborne bites Bozzy in his T-Rex form to Ryston, bites the rock, grapples it, thanks to Ryston's ability to give advantage to his allies' ability checks, kills it immediately on his next attack, and now
then we
we're all
plummet.
just sort of falling with the corpse down off the tower. Ryston, with, I believe, a nat 20 agility check, acrobatics, that is, flips around the T-Rex, grabbing Velen, and leaps off toward the tower, 10 feet too short to actually get up and survive this series of incidents. I should mention at this point that Velen's life is the only one at risk, because everyone else is falling 140 feet, which is not technically lethal for either Osborne or Ryston. Velen definitely may be dangerous. Definitely may be dangerous.
Especially since Velen was barely in double-digit hit.
Yeah, Velen has been, at this point, triple attacked by the rock. Grappled, and then dropped. So, Ryston picks her up, jumps off the T-Rex like Mario jumping off of Yoshi. Wilhelm, at this point, running to the edge after a series of, helpful nest-based actions, throws a rope down, barely in time for Ryston to grab the end of it, and climb up, both of us surviving. So Ryston and Velen are safe. Osborne continues to fall. Zadrin has at this point realized
Hasted
that everyone
myself,
is
yeah.
falling, is also hasted, runs at full hasted speed, which I believe was 180 feet in a round,
Yep.
down the entire tower, and bursts through the door right in time to see the T-Rex impact the ground on top of the falling rock. So the T-Rex hits and does enough damage to break Osborne's concentration, turning him back into a goblin. Fortunately, he's on the ground already. So he's fine, except for the fact that his mouth full of blood and feathers falls from T-Rex head height onto his little goblin body, soaking him with blood and feathers, and just generally ending the whole thing on a perfect comedic button. And he just sort of lays on top of the feathery body of the rock and looks up at the sky for a minute until Zadrin's like, "You want to maybe come in, buddy?" And he's like, "Yeah." So then we sort of looked around the nest for a little bit, still all of us, I think, a little bit recovering from the adrenaline wash that was the end of that combat. And we found a bunch of treasure, which I have listed, and I think so does Zadrin. And, well, Prescott has it listed.
Yeah.
Zadrin doesn't have it listed, he just has it. But, yeah, we're there now, just sort of hanging out on top of the tower, down quite a few spell slots, and some of our party members' HP, but definitely not dead.
That was a great job, Kevin. I think we
Very
should
good
take a
job.
moment and say thank you to our DM from last week,
Oh, yes.
Morgan, for putting up with all that nonsense.
Yeah. twisting the rules just a little to
Mhm.
make sure that we had a chance to live.
You know, it's all about balance, right? Even if that balance sends characters toppling off the top of a god's tower. But, you know, it worked. It
Yeah,
worked.
rule of cool. Rule of cool.
As long as there was a chance.
I think
Yeah.
in a
Exactly.
combat encounter, just
I
as a
don't-
fellow DM myself, occasionally, I think in a combat encounter where you're trying to drop the players off of the tower to their deaths, there's a little bit of wiggle room in there as a DM to go back and let them do cool stuff that's maybe a little stupid.
Exactly. My thoughts exactly. Okay, well, just for Devin's sake, I'll give you a really quick recap of the treasure that the party found. Primarily, and perhaps most interestingly, if Velen wants to take a closer look, is a 5-foot-tall, 150-pound silvery egg that's nestled in the nest. There was also a carved harp of exotic wood, an electrum chain with a bloodstone pendant, a chest that the party opened, pried open from the encrusted rock droppings that were covering it, that had a bunch of money inside, as well as a gold ring with a black pearl set into a whirlpool-shaped fixture, and a finely embossed leather spell scroll case that they have not yet investigated further. But during the time spent rummaging through the nest, the party was then able to get a secondary short rest following the fight, which is why Velen is back up to being only damaged 3 hit points.
During that short rest, can Velen retroactively cast Arcane Recovery and recover a 4th level spell slot?
Absolutely.
That's good.
Yeah, since I'm the one that burned it, I feel like I should definitely do that. Listen, those polymorphs came in clutch.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Well, it is still, if you remember, the middle of, well, let's see. Yeah, it would still be early morning at this point, so still dark outside. But you have noticed that there are the occasional breaks in the cloud cover that let through your first glimpses of starlight since entering the Dale. Still heavy cloud cover. It's still frigid temperatures. Definitely inhospitable to be out here for long. But the oppressiveness that has lingered is definitely seeming to dissipate, just both in a physical sense as well as just the general disposition that you have towards your environment. I will say, over the course of that hour that you spend getting your short rest, investigating the nest, there are a couple more periodic roaring echoes across the island, slightly closer each time.
Any way
So?
to determine the source of those roars? Now that
Why
we're
don't you
hearing them
give
more
me-
often?
A perception check.
Okay. This die.
I will cast as a ritual spell detect magic because I don't know identify, and just see what among what we have is like definitely magical versus just like a nice thing.
So, of the loot that is pulled from the nest, even the fine jewelry pieces and that beautiful carved harp, none of those ping as magical. The eggshell, this was previously tested by another party member with detect magic. The eggshell itself seems very metallic, and Velen would be able to gain the sense that that would be enough to block the ability of detect magic to sense any magical presence within. The spell scroll case, however, and I think I overlooked this before, there is a scroll inside that has a magical essence to it. This would be evocation.
Well, I will definitely check that out, like as soon as we're like just chilling, and see what that spell scroll's about.
This spell is not on the wizard's spell list, so why don't you give me an Arcana check? I assume you're already proficient in Arcana?
Oh yeah. That is 18.
18. examining the glyphs and some of the script that you're able to make out on the scroll, this is a spell scroll of Mass Cure Wounds.
Ooh.
Hey, very convenient.
There were also some health potions discovered.
Hmm.
But I will let whoever took notes remind how many,
yes.
because they just kind of added in as
3.
just
Last
as a treat.
3.
Can we gauge like the level of health potion? Like, is it like normal or is it more beefy?
Standard health potions.
Okay. Okay, I will tell everyone that what the spell scroll is, and I guess I'll hold on to it because I don't know if anyone else can use it.
Gran can use it.
Maybe I'll still hold on to it because she can heal people, just in general.
Yeah. Spread
Okay.
the healing.
I can take health from people, but I can't
Mhm.
heal them.
Yeah,
I'm
that's true.
pretty sure that everyone in the party except for me could use it.
I think anyone with casting abilities can make a check.
You're all at least half
Oh, yeah.
casters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants it more than me, feel free.
Zadrin seems.
Yes.
Just if I were to hazard a guess, who's the most likely to survive our next combat?
It seems that way. I do stay out of range of getting hit a lot.
You're out of range. You can teleport like 3 different ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll just hand it to you.
Also, I got a 17 on that perception check to determine the roars that are getting closer.
Okay. Impossible to get a visible beat, especially in the darkness and at the distance, but you can tell that the sound is circling around towards the tower from the northeastern direction.
Okay. Okay. Let's get cover. As that gets
Wilhelm.
closer.
Yeah.
During this sort of idle time that certain party members are going through the rock's nest looking for treasure, some are healing up or recovering their arcane strength. What is Wilhelm doing during this time?
He'd help anybody that needs heavy stuff carried. So I guess he's like standing near this big silvery egg, going, "I know who must carry this down." Yes.
If I may,
Shall we make a harness?
well,
Oh,
I might
no.
have a more convenient idea.
all right.
I do
that's
require
fine.
your help,
That's
though.
fine. Just remember that I could do it.
Well, it does require your brawn
Oh, yes.
initially.
Go on.
I should
Ah.
mention that I think that the safest place to leave this egg for now is probably up here in the nest.
Oh, we'll come back for it. Okay.
Yes, I don't want to drag it through the entire rest of the fortress, through who knows what.
Good
and
point.
past who knows who.
That is a good point. I just want to cast Tense's floating disc, to be honest.
It
You
would
just need a
probably be good
reason
to make
use
it.
that spell.
Yeah, it might be good to take it downstairs since it's out of the elements.
Yeah, out
Since
of
you
the
don't have the rock
elements.
protecting it anymore.
It kind of seems fine. I mean, the rock wasn't here all the time.
True. But we do have that distant roar slowly encroaching on us. So maybe.
I just don't want to make the egg a target by moving it from where it is.
Can
Egg
I-
in a nest seems unlikely to be anybody's favorite thing to smash.
Can I knock on the egg, just like a door?
Look at the door.
Yeah, with the same level of like pressure that you would.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
I'm gonna listen to see if there's any just anything.
Give me a perception check.
That is a 24.
Oh wow.
24. As you knock against the shell and then press your ear against it, you can still hear the faint reverberation of that last bit of concussive force echoing through. But you also hear, how to describe the sound? Kind of like the muffled recording taken from, in a pool when you listen to the audio of someone that's like gone scuba diving. It sounds like being underwater, but there's still that barrier in place that kind of distorts the sound a little bit. And you hear that sort of shift, something moving fluid within as it turns about in the shell, seemingly in response to those taps.
So here's my theory. I'm just gonna assume or decide that Velen is not super knowledgeable about dragons. I don't know if she would be or not, but I think there's a little dragon in this, and I don't know how long it takes for dragons to hatch, but I would guess this one is not soon to hatch. Whether that's a year or 5 years, however dragons work. We might be lugging this thing around for a while unless we want to make, breakfast.
I'm gonna have Gran make a medicine check.
I am. I don't know if you were watching, Velen. I know you were recovering the spells. I've been hugging the egg. I've been petting the egg. I've been singing to the egg maybe a little bit. I've bonded. All right. When a bird comes out of an egg and it imprints on whatever it sees, it thinks that's its mother. That was kind of the experience I had as soon as I saw it. So that's
just the reverse.
Right, exactly. I am now this egg's mother. I don't know if you've noticed I'm a woman now. That's in order to put on myself on my own mother.
Oh yeah, that's another thing in the recap.
Purely, yes. Well, it's kind of
that should
irrelevant.
have been in the recap.
It's not really going to change Ryston's actions or character to any degree.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, sorry. Hello.
Let me.
Evan doesn't follow
Ryston.
what just happened.
I'm a changeling.
I got you.
It's very easy. for me to do that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's not
bigger real quick.
barely even magical. It's just biology.
Right, Grayson, I will say, as you're saying all of that, and there's a better look at the token, by the way, Gran just kind of shoulders past you to get closer to the egg and start sort of running her talon along the edge of the scales on the outside of the shell, kind of pressing her own little reptilian ear hole against it, kind of tries to rock it a little bit, just investigating it, and then sort of turns to you, Velen, after your proclamation of gestation time, and says, well, the level of development on this eggshell is pretty close to what certain subspecies of dragonborn eggs look like pretty soon before they hatch.
Oh. Well, I mean, if it's soon to hatch, I don't know.
All the more reason, I say, to get it out of this fortress and back to civilization.
Yeah. Let's get that diamond for the
Do we want
dragon.
a dragon to be near civilization?
A silver dragon that just hatched from an egg? Probably good.
Do you not think the towns might have a tiny dragon phobia? I don't think they're.
I don't care.
I feel like
I don't like
there's going to be some
I don't like anyone there. I think they're all
sentiment.
pretty.
There might be some anti-dragon sentiment.
Do you remember that little
here's
kid?
the thing. I have an entire noble house worth of resources. Granted, some distance away.
Oh.
But I think that this might be a good time to. So I've been making a plan. All right. It's become obvious to me that I am not going to make enough money by myself up here to save my house. To prevent us from becoming a lesser house in Baldur's Gate and all of the unpleasantness that does eventually come with that. People are ruthless once you lose some power there, and I would really hate to see that happen to my parents. I think that the perfect thing to do would be, provided we have ended the winter, to invite my family up to the Dale and establish a sort of a link here, a foothold, if you will, which will provide the people here with a much better standard of living and make my family a lot of money. It's just going to be a great deal all around. My dad's a wonderful man. My mom is a genius. It's a great idea all around. And
Bran
I think
kind of pipes up at that point. How would your family moving here make life better for everyone else in Icewind Dale?
Because they'd be bringing an enormous amount of money and trade here.
But didn't you say your family needs money?
Yes, but needing money as a noble family in Baldur's Gate is very different than needing money as a part of an isolated town. The economics of it all very much makes sense, I promise. This is literally what I've been born to do.
I think
What if you
you're
just
all
sold the egg?
forgetting something.
What if you just sold the egg and saved
My
your
great,
family
great,
fortune?
great, 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 great grandmother was a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen this
Okay.
before.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Seen
I
what?
think we
shot
should
it
definitely take this egg to whatever populated area. Like immediately. Immediately we should take this egg to a populated area.
Do you
Yeah.
remember we pranked that
And
kid
into-
in that first town we saved, or where we killed the dragon, the
East
metal
Haven?
one? Yes.
Yeah.
We convinced that kid he or she was a dragon.
One kid.
I feel like
That was one.
Dragons are
if,
still cool to them. It's just
if
evil dragons.
if baby dragon
Ah.
hatches soon,
Do you also remember that other town where we
Eh.
antagonized the mayor? Not the mayor.
Oh.
The
Speaker?
sheriff, and he stabbed our friend.
Saying that we
Remember that
antagonize
town?
him
You know what?
is grossly unfair to us, first of all.
We
And
should take it
second of
that
all,
place.
What,
Mm.
as Osborne, I want to know what you were originally saying about you've seen this before. What part of this? What do you actually? What do you think is or going to or should happen? What is the thought here?
Well, obviously, something is going to come out of this egg-shaped structure, yeah.
Right, my child.
Okay.
And then once it comes out, it's going to be a thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
it's
Like
like it's
little
going to be a
boy
whole
or
thing.
Uh huh.
So I think being out here in the middle of nowhere isn't a good idea. I think we should be. Who is that? You were just saying the guy who was a real asshole. Who was that?
It could be a lot of people. You mean like the
No,
sheriff?
the real asshole.
Captain
You?
Shithead. Captain Grand Stabber. Whatever his name was.
Yeah. We should take it
Captain,
You
for
want
some
okay,
reason,
okay,
people keep
okay. So you
insisting
want
he
to bring
wasn't
the dragon
stabbing
egg
anybody,
there. Yeah.
even
To
though he
the
put a knife
town
in a person.
that we were ran out of
Yeah.
because you made a scene
Yeah.
about a dragon.
That's right.
Have the dragon hatch as a surprise. And
You
then
see,
they...
I can see that it makes as much sense to you as it does to me. Exactly. Perfect. Let's do it.
Why
Okay.
do
Real
y'all
quick,
insist
real
on
quick.
antagonizing?
Because we were starting this with a completely different person, Wilhelm.
Yes.
As all of this discussion is going on, you sort of glance back to the reflective metallic surface of the egg, sort of traipsing through the refuse in the massive nest, and notice that there is a second figure reflecting behind your reflection, like someone standing over your shoulder. It is a beautiful feminine figure, one that you have seen in some of your visions. And as you watch, you can tell there's no one behind you, but you watch her sort of step around you in the reflection. And as the eggshell curves and her reflection goes around the edge, she sort of beckons you around its perimeter.
I follow.
As you do, you sort of come to where the egg is sort of propped at an angle against the inside of the nest and has crushed a lot of the massive boughs of trees, warped driftwood from the many shipwrecks surrounding the island. And you see her sort of peer into the edge of the nest and then just point.
I go to investigate what she's telling me.
Okay.
Hey, house.
No investigation check needed, because as soon as you are able to use just your rippling strength to just shift some of the wood that constructs this nest, you see a glinting metallic handle, beautiful wrought gold around some sort of dark purplish gem of a pommel stone, and it looks very much like the handle of a great sword that is inlaid with mother of pearl. Do you take it?
Yes.
Okay. As your hand wraps around it, you realize it's wider and heavier than a sword. And as you pull it free, there's not a blade or a scabbard, but it rather looks a lot like almost a jouster's lance, just a very long, nondescript, but beautifully crafted pole of this gilt metal and decorative ivory and inlay. But there is a hairline seam running down its length. And as you sort of shift it in your hand and take that handle, you can tell that the pommel stone has a little bit of give to it, almost like a button would.
I press it.
As you do, the length of this device splits nearly 4 feet on either post, and you can see 2 metal spikes protrude from either side. And connecting either half of the handle, there is a band of shimmering radiant light that seems to give off a faint warm glow.
I take it and does it look like it would fit around an egg, perhaps? Wilhelm's not a smart man, but I think no. Okay, no. Well, see, he's not a smart man. So he immediately starts trying to use it to warm the egg. Like, is that better, little guy?
As you do, you sort of graze your shin with one of the very sharp spikes that has emerged from the bottom of either end. Give me a straight charisma roll, since that is your spell casting modifier.
Charisma. All right, here we go. Where am I? All right, here we go, baby. Boom. Oof. It's an 11.
There are party inspirations out there.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll use one of them up. Here we go. Oh, natural 20. I'm glad I used your inspiration,
Nice.
party.
Okay. As you kind of examine this strange, beautiful, very obviously magical device that you've discovered, you glance back to the reflection and you see this female figure just sort of chuckling at you. And she sort of steps back, her reflection shrinking, and then gives a gesture, and you see materializing in the reflection in front of her this same device with either post embedded in the ground. And she reaches for the band in between, and you can see that she pulls it back, almost like cocking the string of a crossbow. And as she does, a long, glinting, radiant bolt appears between the 2 pillars.
And then I immediately go over to Vulcan and I go, "Look what I found! I think you're gonna like this."
What is that? It's so warm.
I don't know.
Vulcan,
but it's so
you
cool.
just see the 2
Oh,
strange metal,
it's so
beautiful
cool.
posts. You cannot see that ribbon of radiant light.
Oh, you found good sticks?
No,
How do you-
watch. And when I pull it back, can he see the bolt like I can see it?
Do you plant the pillars?
I do. I go. All right, and I make sure to point it away from the party, and I'm like,
So Vulcan, as he pulls back on some invisible tether between the 2, you do see a white radiant bolt of light form. Do you release it? Actually, first, Wilhelm, give me a strength check.
"Oh no, come on, baby!"
Got this.
Oh, that's all right. That's a 22, I think.
Okay,
5
noted.
plus 17. Yeah.
So as you angle the bolt towards the interior of the island off the top of the tower, do you release it?
I'm gonna let go. He lets go.
There is a flash of blinding light that would mechanically run the risk of stunning someone in combat, but as you release it, it streaks off at impossible speed, and through the night, blistering like a shooting star, you see it tear through the snow fog that covers the island all the way until it impacts the side of the distant mountain. And there is a rolling, echoing thud a few moments later. Long story short, this is a custom homebrew weapon that only you can use. There is no maximum range on it. It has 3 charges a day, but it takes a strength check to use, and then it will be the damage dice increase with your level, much like a spell would, because this is a boon of Avandra.
Ooh.
That is
Have
fucking
you-
awesome.
Have you
That is
discovered
awesome.
artillery?
Found a siege weapon.
Yeah.
Oh my
I don't-
god.
This would have been really useful back in Cormier, let me tell you.
Mm.
It just
Yes.
had me run at the gates. It was really bad.
How did
That was
you
the
find
first
this?
quest line.
Yeah.
So everyone's conversation about the egg and whatever, I assume that's going on one side of the egg, and he goes around to the other side and finds this thing. Like, is our conversation just interrupted by this like crazy firework going off? Like, do we see
We'll
that
say
flash
it's
of light?
punctuated by that. So as the conversation wraps to where we left it off, you see the streaking bullet of light.
Wow. The one last conversation thing with Ryston about the egg. After we've talked a good bit about it, I go, so you've decided this is your egg now. This is your dragon, right?
It's less that I've taken ownership of it, and more that I have appointed myself responsible for its guardianship.
If you could talk to it right now, what would you say?
Well, I would ask it a lot of questions, mostly about, like, what it wanted, and if it knew why it was here, and if it needed to be somewhere else. That's sort of the main thing, is if what we've got in there is a baby silver dragon. I don't know how true the legends I know about silver dragons are, but they are the most good of all dragonkind and among the most powerful. So it would be straight up beyond my even, I would say, purview as just a person who wants good things to happen to people to let anything bad happen to this egg. This is potentially thousands of, like, pivotally good things happening in the world for an untold number of years, depending on what happens with us today. This is just all of my philosophy represented in a big silver circular thing.
So I don't know if this will work, but I'm gonna walk over to the egg. So I speak Draconic, and I do know the message spell, and I just have to be. It says it can go through solid objects if you're familiar with target. Know it's beyond the barrier. I'm not familiar with the dragon, but I know it's there. So I'm wondering if I don't know if it'll work, but I will attempt, because it will cast or cost no spell slots, to try and talk to it in Draconic.
Okay.
Initially, I would just say, like, you're safe now. I doubt you can hear me, or doubt you can respond, but we're gonna try and protect you. Essentially, is the message I want to get across.
Okay. You formulate your spell, perform your somatic components, whisper into your copper wire in Draconic. Receive
Which I
no
also
response.
I don't know if that worked, but yeah. And pat the egg. I was like, "No fuck."
Well,
Let's-
Dylan, not to pile a heart-to-heart on top of a long conversation, but frankly, I am pleased to see that you are the kind of person who, when confronted with a potential complication or potential benefit to yourself like this, you don't respond with, I don't know, not to be cliche, but avarice.
Well, I view this more.
What's the name
as,
of the person?
What's the name of-
sorry.
what's the
No,
name
go
of the
ahead,
person?
Go ahead,
It's
go ahead.
it's kind of the thing. It's because Velen's like they're part of the same, and it's a
I still think we should take it down from up here where it's cold and alone, and maybe like down 2 floors, and then
But
keep
it's going to be
searching.
cold and alone, though.
We should
But
give
it
it to
won't be out in the
the
elements.
giant skeleton guy. He seemed
No,
nice.
do not do
He
that.
seemed nice
No.
enough.
No.
I wouldn't trust a frost giant with like anything I have.
Maybe, yeah.
Wow, that's
With a pickaxe.
wow. Saw
What-
frost
what-
giants.
sorry,
just like
are you-
that.
Do you live in the world?
I live in a world.
Whatever.
I don't think he lives in the world now.
I'm not going to have a conversation about racism with you about frost maiden minion giant people.
He didn't attack.
He didn't see us. He's 1,000.
Osborne Grand toddles over and starts using just some spare fabric in her water skin to just start sloughing globs of coagulated rock blood off of you.
Oh, that's very nice.
But yeah, are we just coated in like bird viscera? Just like
Just Osborne.
I
Just
assumed
Osborne.
the
Yeah.
short rest, like he was cleaning himself.
It was warm. Now it's
No?
not.
Okay.
Just in the interest of continuing to explore the fortress, egg-wise, I think that a prudent means of keeping the egg safe right now is to leave it somewhere in the fortress that we have already explored, that we know where to get back to without trouble, and whether that's downstairs in that bed chamber off to the side, or whether it's up here in the nest. I think it should be fine out in the elements. It's warm to the touch, so
True.
I don't know if it's uncomfortable. I don't know if it is anything in the egg. But after that, we can take it to Angajuk. And Angajuk can help us with a place to keep it, with a place to maybe keep it safe until it hatches, at which point it's a being that can speak and think and will know what it wants. So Angajuk, I think, is our solution in the medium term as far as the egg goes. And in the short term, I think we just keep it somewhere safe.
You might even know where it came from.
Exactly.
An ancient whale that knows the area very well.
All right. Well, let us continue exploring then.
Yes, we have that hole downstairs past the ice methods.
So descending back through the tower, you pass back through the palace level, which is where Aurel's throne was, where you fought and eventually dispatched her. You eventually come back to... Let me grab these tokens and move you guys. Oh, I don't want to bring the rock with us. I'll let y'all move those tokens. How about that? But you do eventually come back to the main floor, which is entry level. It's where you saw the very old, wizened frost giant that didn't seem to react to your presence. Just kind of huddled in a corner, again, in front of a door off of that room that y'all had not explored any further. There is the chamber on the back of the tower that does have the leering ice methods, all surrounding a staircase that descends deeper into the tower.
So what do you want to take on first? The ice methods and the other level, or the ice giant, wizened ice giant?
I do not like to leave things behind me, even though we did that here. We should finish up with the giant. Find out if he's friendly or not.
I
If
would
he
love
is,
to.
or if
to
he's even
mess with the giant.
unfriendly. What? Sorry.
I would like to go to the giant.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Bryson, I'll make you smaller. There you go.
Yeah, I'm
And remember, these squares
well
are 10
past the
feet.
time limit on that.
Yeah, thank you for that reminder, Snatcher. The squares are 10 feet on this map. Okay, so the door, I think, was left slightly ajar, but never pushed fully open. Once again, the description here is a withered old frost giant leaning heavily on a great axe that sits in front of a tall door in the far wall. The giant wooden stool upon which he sits creaks under his weight as he stares about the room with cloudy, unfocused eyes, muttering under his breath in giant tongue.
Again, I'll call out loudly in giant. Just hello, try and get his attention.
No
He's like,
reaction.
He wants to be first into the room.
I'll do it.
Well, and do you speak giant?
No, but I guess comprehend languages. Do you know what he's saying? Anyone?
Yeah. He was talking about wanting to, if I remember correctly, he was talking about wanting to join his friends and why he was left alone and not want to be alone anymore.
Sad. See, he's so sad. We
Some
all just want
begrudging
Yeah,
comments
sad.
about Auril as well.
Yes.
And begrudging comments about
He's so sad.
We should all go in at the same time.
He just wants friends, and we beat up
All right.
Ariel. So he'll like us.
So we all step in the room.
Everybody here's a hater.
Okay, freeze. Nobody else move. As you all step into the room and into the dim light that flickers
Yeah.
throughout from the torch on the wall, he does finally lift his old head, a wrinkled face, kind of leers in, and you can see him squinting as if he's trying to make you out. And then as another one of you passes through the door, he sits a little bit taller and bellows out, "Death! We meet at last!" And I need everyone to roll initiative.
No.
I knew
No
that
death,
this
no
is what would
death.
happen. I knew that this is what would happen.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's fair.
This could be the only thing that could have possibly
It was
happened.
worth a shot.
It wasn't.
Velen does the old lady equivalent of like a fist pump in the air.
We could have tried harder.
What is wrong with you, Velen?
Dude, I rolled a
Well, I
nat
would-
20 on Graham's medicine check earlier. I rolled a nat 20 on her initiative. Graham is just on fire tonight, and she's not even here.
She is.
Go, Graham!
Oh, wait. Maybe I need a different die. I just rolled a 20 again. Hold on.
Hold on. Check that die. Check its weight.
That one was a 3. That one was an 8. That one was a 1. Okay. I guess it was just 2 really good rolls.
Yeah, okay.
Ooh, -1. The fuck? All right.
Ah, he's just like me. Only because he rolled a natural 20. Much faster.
Grayson, what'd you get?
Now then, why are you
15.
bloodied? You're not bloodied, right?
I don't know. How do I turn that off?
You just-
Click your token, and then the circle. And then click the red dot.
Oh. Damn it. There you go.
All right.
Thank you.
You
Now
can
put that
see
back
this-
on when you're below half,
Yeah. Let your party know you're fucked.
so we know.
This towering old frost giant slowly begins to rise to his feet. You can see him sort of gripping his axe and hefting it up on his shoulder. You can hear the creaking of his armor, or maybe it's his bones. It's not entirely clear, but he seems greatly livened by the prospect of a fight.
Right. Friends.
Saturn, you are up first.
Sad to
Okay.
say friends. Friends.
I will step fully. Well, man, I will. Let me actually get on the corner that I want to get. There we go.
See,
Um,
Vanquisher of Ariel.
I will call in giant. We vanquish Auril. I know you want death. Is this how you want to do it? And I'll have an arrow waiting for him to take a hostile action towards us, confirming that he wants to have a fight to the death.
You do see a very notable sort of halt to his movement, but we will see on his turn what it means. Next up is Gran, whose spell slots I have just been burning like crazy. So for now, she is just going to reach out and give who's that? Osborne. She's going to give you some guidance
Oh.
and bonus action shillelagh.
Oh.
That will bring us to the frost giant's turn. You can see that he was getting ready to just let his momentum carry him into a charge. As you call out in giant tongue, Saturn, he sort of stops and stands up to his full height. This tower is built for giants, but it is still kind of a jarring sensation to see one stand to a full 15-foot height in front of you, especially bearing such a vicious-looking weapon. He seems to be searching the faces of your assemblage, not entirely able to locate who it was that called out to him, but he responds, I am the last of Vasavikin's clan, and I will meet a glorious end, Auril or not. And he is going to step forward and attack you, Wilhelm.
That's what I want.
Yep, and I'll release my arrow since he took a hostile action. It's like, yep.
You got it.
Okay.
So we'll do that part first.
Don't crit
I hate
me.
it when I'm wrong. I
Okay,
hate it when I'm
partner.
wrong. I hate it when I'm wrong.
That would be a 18 to hit.
It's
Okay. Let's see. D8.
holy shit.
I rolled an 8, so it will be 14 points of magical piercing damage.
Okay, 14. I don't know if I have this many d12s out.
And now Ant replies like, may our battle be glorious enough for a restful afterlife for you.
I don't speak giant, but I'm getting excited about what you're talking about.
All right,
Yeah.
perfect. Wilhelm, first attack against you. It's a 13 to hit.
He comes down with his, is it an axe?
Mm-hmm.
he-
Massive great axe.
He shrugs it aside with his shield and he goes, another!
It is a double-bladed great axe, and he just kind of
Whoa.
flips the end down and cuts up at you with the other side.
Cool.
It's 19 plus 9. 28.
8.
I hit, is what that
28.
is.
4. Oh, that's a 9, not a 6. Okay. 15, 19, plus 6. 25 points of slashing damage.
Oh.
And I'm just gonna... He is in... Come on. He's in this square. So he's technically melee to you, Wilhelm, but
Mhm.
it's with... You can tell he has a 10-foot reach.
Yeah.
He just seems to have trouble with depth perception.
Yeah.
Got a
That's
little more comfortable than he needed to.
Okay.
But that is his turn. Velen, you are up.
Yes. So I am gonna go behind him, about right here, right up on him.
Okay.
And I am going to cast Blight.
Ooh.
Just straight up
saves?
Blight. Yes, con save.
Literally his best save, but I rolled a 2 for a total of 10.
Ooh.
Okay, 16. So, what does this do? Okay, 8d8.
Oof. I knew it was a lot. but I didn't think it was that much.
Good lord.
I have been wanting so badly to use a spell. While I've been here, we've been fighting not living things. So, finally.
A lot of math. With 88.
And then 2 more.
Rolling, rolling,
Okay.
rolling all the dice.
31 points of necrotic damage.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Nice. Let's go.
Yikes. Whew.
Wah, wah, wah.
And then I just sort of smile, and it's creepy.
You see the sort of thinning, papery giant skin just take on this sickening blackish purple hue as a bruise spreads throughout his form from the point of contact, and you hear this ragged cough tear from his throat. Nice chunk of damage. Anything else from you, Velen?
No, I'm good.
Next up is Rayston.
Rayston darts around to be in flanking with Wilhelm.
Okay.
And I believe I'm gonna just go for a couple of rapier attacks.
Alrighty.
Attack number 1 is a 25 to hit.
Hits.
Attack number 2 is double threes for a 13.
Does not hit.
Advantage. Alright, well, that is going to be... I'm not big, so it's going to be a straight 14 damage.
14
Magical
points.
pierce.
Taken. Alrighty.
And I am going to go ahead and bonus action Storm Rune.
Alrighty. Storm Rune, that's the prophetic state.
Prophetic State.
Alrighty. Noted.
State.
Anything else on your turn?
No, I'm just going to also say in Giant, I shall use the magics of your kind to give you an honorable death.
Okay. You see a slight cracked grin at that, but he still seems to be lost to the bloodlust at this point. Osborne, you're up. Vulcan on deck.
Osborne's looking through the door. And when he hears that, and the giant smiles, he feels like maybe he should stay out of it.
Does Osborne speak giant?
No, but he reads body language, you know?
Yeah.
Shut up. Join
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're good with
You know what I mean?
The little green
Yeah.
shit.
He can't cast Fireball. He can't cast Polymorph. What can he do?
You
He
be
can,
fireball
but-
He's got
through a
cantrips
mind
specifically
sliver
for
and-
these type of
He
moments.
can cast either of those things, but... okay, so he'll step into the room.
Okay.
Right about here.
Alright.
And he starts going...
Oh,
Oh,
Yep.
gosh.
yeah, it's our favorite spell. Yeah.
And I
Save.
need, yeah, deck save.
In.
Ooh, he fails.
Okay, so that is 18 points of acid? Yeah. 18 points of acid damage. That's at the
Alright.
start of his turn if he doesn't wipe it off.
Okay.
I'll remind you.
Okay.
A stream of acid emanates from Osborne. In a line 30 feet long, 5 feet wide, direction you choose. He failed the dex save, so if he uses his turn to scrape it off, then he won't take any damage. But if he doesn't, he takes 18.
Velen. You said 30 feet long?
Yeah.
Velen, give me a dex save at advantage since this is such a massive creature in the path of this spell.
Okay. This is not good for me.
Mm.
I used all my luck on the blight spell. That's 11.
At advantage?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna. No, that only grants advantage. Can't double up.
Okay. So Velen, there's a spray of acid that makes it between the towering giant's legs that just sort of sprays across the skirts of your robes, and you can feel heat beginning to burn
Ooh.
through.
Okay.
Anything else on your turn, Osborne?
Negative.
All right, Vulcan.
I stuck my neck out for you, you big dummy. I'm gonna cast a spell I've been waiting to cast because all we fight are just dumb monsters and spellcasters with no metal objects. I cast heat metal.
Ooh.
Okay. Let's see, what armor is he
Oh
wearing?
my.
Armor or axe?
Patchwork
It's the axe.
armor, but yeah, the axe is metal. Okay.
That's 4
that a
points
con
of
save?
fire damage. No, he just takes 4 points of fire damage,
Okay.
and then If the creature is holding or wearing an object and takes the damage, it must succeed on a con saving throw or drop the object if it can.
Okay. 26.
Okay.
So you see him wincing and beginning to growl, but
Reaction
disadvantage?
Yes, and now if he doesn't drop it, it has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks until the start of my next turn.
Disadvantage on the con save brings him down to a 22, so he does still manage to hold it, but I will make his attacks at disadvantage.
Giants.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea. But he is
Griffin,
very...
you're so forceful.
Wilhelm, you're up. What you got?
Wilhelm will get into this flanking buddy there. He will swing twice. First attack. Thank God for advantage. One of them was a natural 1. The other one is going to be a... Help me, actions. Oh, okay. 27 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
All right. Roll for 13 points of magical slashing damage.
Okay.
Second
Now
attack.
bloodied.
Ooh, second attack. Ooh, 19 on the die.
Yep.
For
hits.
29. And I'm going to go ahead and use one of these sweet, sweet spell slots for a little spell I call Smite.
Yeah.
Good game.
2d8s, 3d8. Unless he's an undead. He's not an undead. He's just really, really old.
He's just really old.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, anyways. So 48 plus 6. Coming at ya. 12. It's 9. It's 23, right? No, 21. 21. Math is hard.
Yeah, it is.
21 points of magical. Actually, it becomes radiant damage.
Okay. Takes it. He's starting to stagger a little bit.
Tough boy.
Anything else?
That'll do it.
All right. Zadrin, you're up.
I will bonus action Planar Warrior, and then just attack twice.
You got it.
And then one will be a 27, the other one will be a 21.
Yeah, those both hit.
Alright, so that'll be 3d8 of damage. Well, let's roll these two first. That'll be 9 points of force damage.
Mhm.
And, well, no, 15 points of force damage, forgot the plus 6. And then 8 points of piercing damage.
And then 8.
Okay. Piercing.
Got it. All right. Starting to waver. Anything else?
May your reunion with your clan be joyous. Just other words of wisdom, like just like empowering him.
That's
like
some cold shit.
Yeah.
In Giant
Mhm.
again,
In Giant, yeah.
you call this out and you see him just raising this axe again, preparing for his next attack. And you swear you can hear the distant echoes of 1,000 war cries rising in the distance to claim this soul, soon bound for their domain.
That's like Ezekiel 25:17 right there. Mhm.
I'll take your word for it. Imagine anything else, bud?
That'd be it.
All right. Next up is Grand's turn. She sees that everything is pretty much handled. She is just going to... Don't really have any good range. It's not going to get everybody else. That ice knife is an area effect. So yeah, she's just gonna take the dodge action. That brings us to the Giant's turn. James, I think you said that damage was 18 if he doesn't wipe it off.
Yes.
Still up. But you can see it beginning to eat pockets into his flesh, and you see popping veins and tendons that are pulled taut and then snap as he is letting loose his final flurry of bloodlusted attacks.
Gross.
At disadvantage because of the heat metal.
Disadvantage.
Which means they will be a straight roll. Okay. Yeah. Damn. Kind of negates the purpose of that feature, but you know, it works. It was a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, first attack is going to be against Rayson and Wilhelm are really the ones. Well, Velen fucked him up with the blight. So he's just going to go in like a sweeping arc. And we're going to say it's going to go Wilhelm Velen. So first one. Good advantage. So close. It's a 19 for 28 total.
It's
That's what I rolled against you last time. Oh, that one's high though. Okay, so 7 plus 11, 18 plus 6.
24.
Thank you. Yep, math is hard. 24 points of slashing. And then he continues the arc of the blade towards you, Velen. 19 to hit.
Oh yeah.
Okay. 4. Really? 1, 3, 13.
No.
Plus 6. 19 points total slashing damage.
I feel your pain.
D12 plus 6.
Oh, D12, damn.
And that is his turn. He is calling out in the tongues of his clan. Those of you that speak giant just hear repeating war calls, cries of impending victory, that he will be with his brothers in arms soon. Velen, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
So I got acid on me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's. Do I take that damage at the end of my turn? Start of
It's
turn?
at the start of your turn if you don't use an action to sop it off.
I will take it.
Okay. 18 points of acid damage.
I'm sorry about that. Sorry. Yeah.
Alright.
Sorry.
I know it's a show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. I will do. Sorry, I'm checking. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm going to cast Vampiric Touch at 5th level.
Ooh!
Ooh.
Yes, so I can have my health back.
Is there a save on that?
It is. One click it.
Or is it roll to hit?
It's a melee spell attack.
Yeah, that's what I was
Okay, yeah, roll to hit.
So that would be. Please. Okay, that is 25
Damage?
No,
To
to hit.
Oh, to hit. Okay, that hits.
Okay. I'm gonna try the friggin'. I'll use the dice roller. How much was it? Okay.
Ooh, 23.
Yes, 23 points of necrotic damage, and I heal half of that.
Damn. 23 points of necrotic damage.
Round up or down for healing?
Fuck it, round up. It's just a hit point difference. Velen, what does it look like when your vampiric touch claims the life of its target?
So my, I'll say at 5th level it becomes 2 hands, but my hands become wreathed in shadow.
12.
And so where is like eye level on from me to a giant?
Roughly like mid thigh, not even
Mid-thigh?
ass level.
Okay, I'm just gonna like one hand on each like calf, like kind of back of knee area, and like as I'm like pulling health or like life force out of it, it's just like you see the joints go weaker and weaker, and eventually it can't hold the giant anymore, and like the knees just snap and it just falls. And I look like you see wounds close. You see like I have like a healthy glow to my cheeks. Yeah, that's what goes on.
Sure enough, as the towering giant's knees buckle, there is a series of sickening cracks as it impacts the icy floor, and then the spine gives way, the arms dislocate from the shoulders, and this towering figure, still with a strange, sickly grin of complacency with its demise, just falls into a strangely contorted heap on the floor and goes still and silent.
I will, in comment, be like, we gave the giant what he wanted, a glorious way out in final battle to meet his clan. Don't be sad.
Is that glorious?
Yeah. Maybe not the most glorious way to die by a spellcaster.
I thought it was kind of shit, but
yeah, it was kind of gross.
Yeah. But I'll go over to the body and start saying prayers in giant. So
look, it's a different culture. It's not mine.
Yeah.
If you think about it in a different way, it took my best spells to take it out.
all right.
If anything less than my best would not have been enough. That's how you should look at that.
That is true.
Sure.
I'm sure he feels really good about that.
I don't know anyone's gonna buy it.
As the life force was slowly drained from his body.
He didn't have that much left, it looked like.
Yeah.
I'm sure he thought, wow, that spellcaster really got me.
Anyway.
I do not want to hear an I told you so from anybody, by the way.
Oh, really? You don't?
No.
You don't want to hear someone say, I told you that giant was a maniac? And
no, I don't want to hear it. He
wasn't a maniac. Were you expecting? Were you expecting I told you so?
Yes.
From who?
Why is that? Why were you expecting someone to say I told you so?
From me? Why?
Me?
But in here, I told you so, except I didn't.
Not from you.
Yay! Now it's okay.
All right. Good stuff, Wilhelm. Good stuff.
Wilhelm
Let's open this other door.
Cure wounds on himself while you guys are busy being mean to each other.
Before you do that, are there multiple people that have a decent chunk of damage taken out of them?
Not me.
Not me.
Have been touched in 3 combat. No, 2
Phil
combat.
and Wilhelm were the only 2 that
It sounds like a personal problem.
Okay, then go for it. There is still the matter of the room that the giant was guarding. It's got another one of these heavy, icy doors. So once those of you that took the brunt of the fight have healed up, you all can definitely pull your strength once again to force it open. And this is little more than a sort of storage room, but heaped within seem to be the treasures that have been scavenged from the interior of the fortress since its ruin. Note takers, ready your pens. Amongst the treasure gathered here, you find 1,350 gold pieces.
Oh my god, there's so much gold.
4,400 silver pieces.
Oh.
7,800 copper pieces. 4 gold rings sized for giants, worth 150 gold pieces each. A giant-sized, as in sized for a giant, shield made of white dragon scales.
Ooh.
A 2-foot-tall, 50-pound chipped statue of Thrym, the evil frost giant god, that is made of ice of magical nature. So this would be worth 50 gold pieces if you found a buyer.
2 feet tall.
An alchemy jug.
Oh, dibs, 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 mega dibs.
And a small obsidian box with gilt decoration along the frame that has a complex locking mechanism on its front. The box itself is a very deep black, hard material, maybe obsidian or ebony.
Would I recognize the statue?
Give me a religion check.
Okay.
High DC though, it's kind of obscure.
I also want to do that, and I'm a giant spellcaster.
For you, make it a history check.
Okay.
I got a
I'm
12
not better at that.
on religion.
Okay. You recognize it as a giant deity, but you don't know any of the details about it.
Still a 15, even though I have a -1.
15. You would recognize this also as being a giant's deity. You would even recognize it enough to associate the name Thrym with it and recognize it as an ice giant deity. But as far as the lore surrounding it, you don't have any details.
That statue is of an evil ice giant god, so don't touch it.
I will pray towards it, hoping that the spirits are in a restful place. Kind of like what I did with the evil statue, god statue in the Durgar fortress, and it's like we did just help one of its worshippers go off to afterlife, kind of in my head. But yeah, it's like there's an evil deity.
Vulcan, 2 questions.
Hi.
First of all, you're not going to touch the statue, are you?
No. Have I
Not
ever
gonna mess
touched a
with
statue
that
before?
because of
Hello? Hello?
madness?
Who are you talking to?
You definitely
That's
touched
me.
something and
When did
you
I touch a
cursed.
thing?
Yeah, no, I remember you were cursed for a while.
But anyway,
I don't
the second
remember why.
thing.
I don't remember
the
how or
second
why.
thing
I didn't touch
is we
anything.
got a locked box here. Can you open it?
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, Grant,
I'm
do you want
still
to do that
pretty
guidance
prophetic
thing
right
that
now,
you do?
so be a good time to try.
Okay.
Yeah, guidance to Vulcan from Gran.
Guidance,
Good.
advantage, expertise.
It's not an advantage, it's just plus a d4.
Also advantage from me.
Ah, wow.
Prophetic.
Couldn't possibly
fuck this up.
lose.
Rolls a 1 and a 2.
Dice roller. Oh,
Be a 22.
22. Yeah, that's enough.
Roll 20.
You are able to pick the locking mechanism on the beautiful small ebony chest, and as the lid creaks open, you see set on a velvet scarlet pillow inside the box a glittering raw diamond the size of a small melon that has a strange sort of refraction of dark midnight blue based on the way the light filters through it.
Found it.
Ooh, shut that box on it, if you would be
Yeah.
so kind.
Said do what?
Just close it in the box.
Close in the box. Yeah. Close in the box.
Before closing it in the box, do you touch it?
Do I touch it?
No.
Oh,
you don't.
I don't know.
I'm not asking anyone except Vulcan.
They told me not to touch the statue, but they didn't tell me not to touch the gem. Oh god. I touch it.
It is ice cold.
Oh,
With a touch.
it's cold.
But that's it. It's just really cold.
I touched it now. It's cold and I'm dying.
I'm all right. Well, it's
Uh.
time to put down Vulcan, everyone. He can't
All
listen
right,
to
another
directions.
glorious
Oh,
battle.
it's too bad.
Not to
He's
touch the
an-
statue. You said nothing about the gem.
He's
He
an
made it
evil
this far.
madman now.
That's an
No
excellent
choice.
point. You did not mention not touching the gem.
You didn't say
Oh,
nothing about no
such a-
gem. You
Such a
asked me to
problem.
unlock the box and do whatever you wanted with it afterward. That's what you said.
I try and heft up the shield that you were talking about, made of white dragon scales, made for a
Wait.
giant.
Yeah, the shield is probably 2 heads taller than you, but give me a strength check.
I would love to get my hands on that too. I'd love to check that out.
If I dared use another party inspiration, how many?
Gold.
do we have?
Wilhelm.
What was it? What was the roll? What was the roll?
We only have one left now.
Wilhelm, I feel like we
What was the
could play
natural
we could play
Ah, come on.
Torture with that.
Could I prophecy a different outcome for that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Roll it
You're gonna
again.
do
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
You see his bad form and he needs to improve
So
it.
now it's a 23.
Legs, Wilhelm. Lift with your legs.
Thanks to my friends. using
23.
their powers.
We can
to
play
maybe-
torture with that.
Yeah, with a 23, you're able to sort of shoulder it
Shoulder.
up enough to strain with all your might and lift it a couple of inches off the ground, but it's far too massive to fully wield.
Oop. And he puts it back down.
I would love to see.
Is there anything magical in this area
could
about those
replicate
rings? Or
this.
Detect magic.
Spirit, maybe.
there we go.
Okay, detect magic. The alchemy jug is magical. The statue of Thrym is magical.
Not
Um,
much.
And there is the faintest trace elements of magic on the dragon scales on the shield.
You know-
Not the shield itself, just the scales.
Just the scales. What remind me?
Okay.
What's the barrier? A thin sheet of metal. What about stone?
Is a thin sheet of
What?
lead.
1
I
foot
forgot
of
how mu-
stone, 1
Oh,
inch
yeah.
of common metal, thin
Yeah.
sheet of lead, 3 feet of wood or dirt.
Okay, the diamond inside the box is magical.
It was cold. It was really cold, guys.
You know, Wilhelm,
Mhm.
we could all get under that, right? And we all just like push up a little bit, and we could just torture our way across this whole fucking horrible place, right?
This is a good idea for later.
Adrian.
Yes. Right now we're
Um,
inside, but you're right.
Yeah.
If we run into any more razor snow, that's
Help me
definitely
with the
something to keep
shield.
in mind.
Yeah, like,
I'm weak.
yeah, what,
It's the
what she
shield.
Oh,
said.
no.
Yeah, any of that.
Descale it. Help me descale it.
That's what I was going to
No,
ask.
no,
if
we want
could
the
take-
scales on it because
No,
then
no.
can-
We take the scales off and we put it on a smaller shield.
On mine!
On yours, even.
Yeah, but we
Yes!
can't all fit under one shield. Like, you know,
Wait,
if it's
wait,
like
wait,
a giant
what
size
are you-
shield, yeah.
What are you thinking?
You could just do what you were doing. Osborne had a thought. It's fine.
We can,
Yeah,
we
do
can
what
all,
you're doing.
we'll all lift it up like a canoe, right? And then
Osborne
we
had
just
one of his
walk-
fun suggestions.
Wait.
And then we just
wait.
walk
Hold on,
across
let's
this
hear him out.
horrible fucking place, and you know.
I think the problem with your plan, Osborne, is that we would have to continue to drag it with us, and we can't do that.
Well, yeah.
So,
I mean,
go
I
ahead with
guess we
your
could
idea.
all just die. You know,
Go ahead.
we
go
could
ahead
do
with
that
your idea.
too. We'll all get
We-
the razor snow in our eyes.
We
and
didn't
on
die the
our
last time the
faces
razor
and up
snow
our
came upon
noses.
us.
No.
We'll be okay.
We never got hurt. We were never.
Gran walks over to the dragon scale shield, grabs one of the scales and pulls, leveraging her talons over the top, dislodges it, and brings it over to you, Osborne.
What?
The single scale is larger than the typical serving platter, and for your goblin size, it's as big as a shield made for you would be. I
Sorry.
can attach straps to this for you if you want.
We
Thank
started
you,
descaling
Gran.
the shield.
Wow.
You
We
said
descale
no.
the shield.
just did
Thank
that.
You.
Yeah.
Thank you, Grant.
I was
We
I would
descaled
like
the
some.
shield.
Gran
I would
is
like
the
some
best.
scales.
Just ripped it
please.
right off.
So strong.
Wow.
She is.
And did you see how she pulled down? You know, you can't hurt her back. Okay,
That
well,
was-
let's
She
all
is
do this.
ridiculously
Wow.
strong,
Yeah.
yes.
We descale the
Thank
shield.
you,
She
Gran.
rolled for it. She rolled
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah.
We
Can I
descale
go
the
talk
shield.
to those? Can I go talk to the ice methods real quick, just while people are still messing around?
Yeah, sure.
I'll go
around.
with you, actually.
As
setting
you
out the
actually
ice methods.
turn towards the door behind you, you see one of said ice methods standing in the hall, sort of leering in at you. And as you take a moment to acknowledge it, it just sneers and turns and makes its way towards the front door.
Okay.
Wait, what about the other door? Or wait, do we already do
Are
that?
they leaving?
Stepping out into the hall, you only see the one.
Hey. Common.
Uh,
He glances
had to
over his
speak
shoulder
to-
and pauses for a second, but otherwise doesn't acknowledge you.
Giant. You speak giant.
Was Sopo nice?
Yes.
yeah,
What?
use comprehend languages.
And he went down so fast.
Oh, he went down so fast.
Murdered, yeah.
For what?
Which
Trying
is
to get a
why I
little
went to go
owl?
talk to the ice methods by myself.
Okay.
So do you speak any language? I'm going through common, draconic, dwarvish, elvish, giant, and undercommon.
Wow.
Courtier gives you a lot of languages.
That's true.
Those are pretty much the languages I speak.
If none of those work,
Nice,
I'm just
okay.
gonna go ahead and cast comprehend languages, and like try and talk with them.
Give me those languages one more time.
Common, Draconic, Dwarvish, Elvish, Giant, and Undercommon.
Nope, none of those.
It's a Draconic I don't speak. But yeah.
How
Hey.
about Goblin or Common?
Nope.
No.
Try Primordial.
You try primordial.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Excuse me.
It narrows its gaze at you.
Uh-oh.
Eh?
You get the impression it's understanding you.
Ask it what its orders are.
Be careful.
May I ask your standing orders?
Standing orders.
Standing
Oh, you mean our jobs?
Yeah, yeah.
We have none. We simply reside, obey the will of Oril when passed down, and otherwise take shelter here.
Okay.
And I will say that as it speaks to you, a lot of it is just sort of broken primordial that you're kind of piecing together with context. It speaks a sub-dialect, but I'll say that's enough to communicate.
Yeah, I
with
speak
you.
the other side dialect. That's fine. It's like Spanish and
Say you're a friend of
Portuguese.
Sophos.
oh sure. No. We were just my fellow party members and I. We're just wondering what you were up to. We're a curious group. Buddy.
What was its answer? What did
I'm
it say?
leaving.
Where are you going? There's not a whole lot on the island.
The island will sink before long without the god.
Oh.
Okay. That's
That's
good to know.
And you're just gonna fly away, or
How long?
I'll get there.
Velen and Vulcan, what are your passive insights?
14.
16.
He's full of shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Which part? The island.
You
sinking?
you can see the sort of barely suppressed mischievous grin when he says that. Yes, leaving. Fly far from here, far from your doom.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Vulcan, what's it saying?
He's saying the island's gonna sink,
Oh.
but it's a lie.
You need to be careful, because that could be like a euphemism for something. You know,
Should I ask?
like, are you
This-
sure you
this
know
guy
that
seems
language as
awfully
well as you
catty,
think you do?
actually.
He's making like a prank face. I
He's
think it's
making a prank face.
His
That's
face
what
is
I'm
a prank
saying.
face.
I
Yeah.
caught that much.
Let's just go downstairs. I don't
Yeah,
think
let's
they're
just
gonna bother us.
finish
Well,
exploring.
hey, good luck. I didn't catch your name, but good luck to you. Maybe when Ariel reforms in another couple of years, you get your island back. Wink.
It mutters a word that you don't recognize, but from the inflection and something similar you heard once before, it's not a very nice word.
Do I recognize
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
Told ya.
well, yours too, buddy.
Told
I say
ya.
that. I say that in common, even.
Uh,
I say yours too.
Yeah.
Pretty much calling him a much more vicious word for scum.
Wow.
I say
Call
the
me.
same thing. I'm like,
No.
no, you're that.
Why
No,
are we?
you-
Whatever the word is.
No,
Okay, let's
you,
not pick
buddy.
trouble. And
Can I?
As you do, Velen,
Ice
you
blood.
see it scoff indignantly and hear from the other end of the hall where the other methods have been gathering to witness this, just all burst into raucous laughter. Some of them even drop to the floor, sort of rolling, the tinkling of their icy forms crackling against the stone floor. But they are having the time of their lives.
All right, let's continue with this fortress
Dude, I
and
love methods, man. Methods
get out of here.
funny.
Okay. They will make no move to stop you as you make your way for the descending staircase that goes deeper into the fortress. It is a little after 9.
Right.
This would be a decent place to call it, unless we want to go for at least another half hour or so. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys.
I can go, but I have to pee.
It'll be nice to have Kristen back next week.
It would
Yeah,
be nice to
that
have
is
Kristen
true.
back.
Yeah,
I don't want to move
far.
an inch without Kristen.
Alright, perfect. Well then, we will call
What
it
a
here
reversal.
with the party. With the party preparing to descend into the depths of the possibly final level of Grimskalle. Yeah, we'll join there next time with Kristen returning to us, hopefully. Viewers, thank you so much for watching
Thank
and
you.
hanging out with us. Roll20, thank you so much for continuing to support the stream. Again, viewers, make sure you head on over to roll20.net, check out all they have to offer, including the free module for the Vampire the Masquerade tabletop game that is set on New Year's Eve. It's the perfect time to explore that game setting if you haven't already. I
Yeah.
definitely am excited to check it out. As far as our upcoming programming, we are currently planning to play next week, but as always, follow us on Twitter at Goblin Neon to stay up to date on any programming changes and stay up to date on any announcements that we may make.
That's not all, Morgan.
Oh,
You
oh
know
God,
that's
that's
not
next
all.
week! James, why don't you take over? Because I'm flustered.
Monday,
Oh, fuck.
January 3rd, our new game begins. Endless Midnight Genesis.
Oh no.
Dun, dun, dun.
Morgan goes first.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You guys have fun watching. I don't think I'm allowed to.
Like, I'll never tell you what to do, Alden.
It would be cheating, I feel
I would
like.
never tell you what to do, but you might,
I mean,
you
I'm
might,
happy to
yeah, you
cheat.
might miss out on
I'm
some
not gonna
things if you
cheat. I'm
actually
not gonna
watch
cheat.
it.
I don't shouldn't watch it. Just-
Should I give our viewers just a sweeping overview of what Scythia is and what
Sure.
this game means?
Please do.
So for anyone newer to Neon Goblin that joined after the crux of the first 2 Scythia campaigns, Scythia is James's homebrew setting that he has created. The first campaign was set after a apocalyptic magical technological disaster that completely changed the terrain, the culture, the very lifestyle of all the residents on this continent. That was Endless Midnight. We played a secondary campaign that took place a few years after the first one concluded, called Endless Midnight Entropy, with a different set of characters, though there, spoiler alert, you do get some callbacks to the original campaign. This campaign, however, is different, as this one will take place before the apocalyptic event transpires. So it's going to be all of our first glance at what this world was before the rupture changed it forever. So I think I can speak for all of us players who have experienced this world in one light so far. It is incredibly enticing to get to see what it was before and explore a whole new aspect to this setting. So I'm super excited. I'm super nervous for next week, but super excited. And I strongly encourage anyone who hasn't checked it out yet to go on Spotify, check out Endless Midnight. The first campaign is podcast only. Entropy was hybrid. You can find it as a podcast or find our on-demand streams on our YouTube channel. And yeah,
Genesis
there's
as well is going to be on Spotify as well as everything else. So I'm going to go back to old school podcast with that one.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
Maybe
Fun
we'll,
on a bun, baby.
maybe we'll put some commercials for Griffin's web building. Website building.
I am building a website.
We're going to make a commercial.
I will say less. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna go
we're going to make a commercial for it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It'll be awesome.
No.
Perfect. Well, yeah. Make sure you tune in next Monday.
Monday,
As
yeah.
we kick off this new leg of Scythian adventure. So excited. But in the meantime, We love you all and thank you all for spending your evening with us. We're wishing everyone a happy New Year's. Thank you so much for rounding out the year as a Neon Goblin fan, and we are excited to bring you a whole new year of exciting new programming in 2022.
That'd be fun.
But for now, 2021, signing off. Have a good one. Thanks, guys. Bye.
If you're watching, what are your New Year's resolutions? Put in the comments.
Bye.
Bye.